It's that time of year when we get a nice little letter from the County Appraisal District to let us know how much we will pay in our property taxes for the year. And if you're anything like me, you kind of wince when you get that letter, and then you get really wide-eyed when you open it up and read the market value the county is putting on your property. And this year, my property went up an additional 6% after going up 52% last year. So in this video, I'm going to explain the difference between market value and assessed value, what exemptions to put on your property if you don't already have them, what comps to use if you want to file a protest, the timelines to do all of this, and some general things to keep in mind about property taxes. So lots of information here, but all important to know if you are a homeowner in Texas, because there have been some changes to the laws from the last session. By the way, if we have not met yet, I'm Jennifer Shannon. I'm a realtor and broker associate at Keller Williams. I have been a licensed realtor for 17 years, and I love helping people with all things real estate, such as property taxes. So let's start with some definitions. On your appraisal notice, you're going to see something called your market value and then another number for your assessed value. The market value is the value the County Appraisal District places on your property for the previous year. So for the letter you're getting now, it means your market value has been determined by sales all the way from January 1, 2022 to December 31, 2022. You know, that would be the year that we had some of our highest highs and some really low lows in Q4 when the market stalled out because of interest rates. So the other definition to know is your assessed value. Your assessed value is the amount that you're actually getting taxed on. Some people have the same market value as the assessed value, others don't. Again, you pay your taxes based on the assessed value. Now, if you have a homestead exemption on your property, then your market value and assessed value are going to be different. So let's talk homestead exemptions. You can now file for your homestead exemption at any time, and it used to be you could only file at the beginning of the following year after you moved in. The homestead exemption in Texas has two portions. The first is the exemption portion. This is a portion of the value that comes off your assessed value before they apply the tax rate to it. So school districts in Texas are mandated to give a $40,000 exemption from the assessed value. In addition, different counties in Texas may offer more exemptions on top of that. You can also apply for a 65 or older exemption, a disability exemption, and a military veteran exemption. The second portion of the homestead exemption is the homestead exemption cap. This is a limitation on the assessed value of 10% over the prior year. So if last year you were assessed at $300,000, then this year you can only be assessed on a value of up to $330,000. Now, this cap does not apply unless you've been in the property for a full calendar year. Now, if you moved during the year, you can prorate your exemption onto the property. This is a new rule from the last session that benefits those who have bought a home in the previous year. If you have not filed your homestead exemption yet and would like to, the completed application and required documentation are due no later than April 30th of the tax year for which you're applying. So a late residence homestead exemption application, however, can be filed up to 2 years after the delinquency date, which is usually February 1st. A little confusing, right? So how do you actually go about protesting your value? So you'll hear people talk about protesting my tax value. Now remember, we have market values at one level and assessed values on another level. When you're deciding to protest, you have to determine if the market value, the only value you can protest, could be less than the assessed value than you're being taxed on. If there are no comps or there's no evidence to prove that the market value should be less than the assessed value, it won't actually change your taxed amount. So if you would like to get comps to see if there are any sales from 2022 that would support a lower market value, I am happy to provide those to you. Just visit texashometaxes.com and enter the needed information about your property so I can get those accurate comps to you. Now, one question I get asked a lot is how can there be such a wild swing among neighbors and just in values in general? Well, Texas is a non-disclosure state, so that means when you bought your house, what you paid for it is not a matter of public record. So the appraisal district does not actually have access to all of the sales data. So they actually do this thing when you move in and they see there is a deed change, that they will send you a letter in the mail asking what you paid for your house. Now, you don't have to give that to them, and what I would do is wait until next year to see if you providing that information will actually lower your assessed value. And how quickly do you need to do this to protest? You have until May 15th to protest your market value, or if your notice hasn't been mailed by April 15th, you have actually 30 days after the date it was mailed to protest. And one thing to remember too, if you're thinking of selling your home this year, you actually still can lower this amount and it will not affect your list price. Your appraisal district market value has no bearing over your list price or the value an independent appraisal will put on your home. So you can still go to texashometaxes.com to get those comps on your home if you want to protest your market value. So that is your quick property tax protest lesson for the day. If you have any questions on this or want more information for comps on your home, visit texashometaxes.com. And one last thing, I do need to add the disclaimer that I cannot guarantee any results from the information I provide you, and I'm also not a property tax professional, nor am I a licensed appraiser. I am just a realtor who is happy to provide you with sales comps. So thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more helpful real estate videos like this one. Bye now.